Welcome to Hear From Her. We are excited to have Jamie with us today. Jamie is CEO of Scanteak, a leading furniture store in Singapore which has expanded significantly into Japan and Taiwan. Welcome, Jamie.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so we have seen your stores across all major malls in Singapore. Can you tell us more about yourself and also Scanteak?
I think I'm a block of wood most of the time. It's a family business. I've been in the business for, I don't want to say how long. When we started, we probably had less than 20 stores. Today we have over 180 stores across 3 countries with about 10 brands, with most of the stores in Taiwan, and both my brother and I, and hopefully my sister soon, we can take this brand to new heights.
Right. One common concern with buying wood furniture is illegal logging, given the implication on biodiversity and also on climate change. So just wanted to understand what is Scanteak's manufacturing processes and how do you deal with your supply chain issues?
So for Scanteak, most of our products come out of Indonesia. More recently, in the past 5 to 10 years, we have now requested all our suppliers to only use certified wood, which is SVLK timber, for all our wood products. With that government certification, then we can make sure that actually it's sustainable logging. So for every one log that's logged, one more seed is planted.
So this SVLK cert, is it also a requirement from like Japan and Taiwanese consumers?
Yes, it is. It is also our way of making sure that we have more sustainable in our farming.
I see. So why did your family choose to go to use teak rather than other kinds of wood?
So many years ago, when my father founded the brand, he decided to combine the best of design ideology with the best of the Southeast Asian resource. So in America it's oak, but in Southeast Asia it's teak. Of all the many different design ideologies between Italian, American, and even Scandinavian, we picked Scandinavian design because Scandinavian means simplicity, clean lines. So Scandinavian design teak furniture, Scanteak, and that's how it came about.
Right. So just now you mentioned when we were answering the question on the supply chain, it is when one tree is taken out and then one more is planted back. So that's what we call plantation teak. Right? What is plantation teak?
So plantation teak is regulated. So this teak is grown and farmed to be felled for flooring, for furniture, versus the wild teak, which is found in forested areas that houses the plants, the animals. So that is the difference. For the wild teak, obviously there is no certification to log it, so it's just illegal logging. But in terms of quality, it is true that plantation teak is younger. We fell it between even 10 to 30 years, whereas for teak grown in the wild, if untouched, it can grow up to hundreds of years, 100+ years old. So it is younger, but in no way is the quality affected.
That's interesting because my house has Scanteak furniture and I'm hoping them to last. If I remember correctly, Scanteak is definitely one of the Singapore companies which was very early into sustainability, at least on the certification of your wood front. What kind of challenges that you and your brother face when you decide to embark on this sustainability journey?
Actually, in terms of sustainability, there are many fronts that we take. Using illegal logging for plantation teak, government certified teak, as well as going for low levels of formaldehyde on our furniture. It was very difficult because we had to, get all our suppliers on board. And why they don't want to go on board is because you need to track it, you need to certify it, you need to probably apply for it, and it's more expensive. Yeah, so many of the suppliers don't want to do it. Of course, number 2, there's costing. So those are some of our pain points in making sure all the suppliers adhere to it. And I think the third one that actually, people don't think it's just a psychological battle is because not all countries require all these certifications. Different countries have different requirements. But for us, we leveled the playing field by saying all Scanteak customers have the right to legally sourced teak, sustainable products, whether the government in that country requires it or not. And what this means then is maybe in certain countries, they do not need it. My competitors don't give it. And so they can price it much lower, get better margins. But I think for me and my brother, we felt that there's a certain level of integrity. If we have children, we want to create a planet that we want our kids to be proud of. We want them to be behind a brand they can be proud of. And in terms of the formaldehyde safe levels, if we do not want our children to be playing or eating out or working out of furniture that has high formaldehyde content, why would we want that for our customers' kids?
Yeah, so you were actually very early in making that decision,
Right.
but now I think it is an opportunity as well as your consumers become younger and they have children as well.
Exactly, and if we want to scale regionally, this is one headache we don't need to really think about.
Yeah, because you already took the difficult decisions up front.
Exactly. One of the things we have done with the high cost, I would think it's a sustainable thing as well, is to redesign some of our products. The reason why teak is expensive is it takes time to grow. Out of a tree trunk, you can only have so many long planks, and you have many offcuts. So obviously, if a dining table made out of long planks, and in order not to waste these items, I would need to negotiate with my suppliers and say, hey, what if I could also design stools, accessories, smaller chairs that could use the offcuts?
So you minimize wastage in the process.
If you're going to throw it away anyways, might as well use it to do, we'll pay for labor, we'll pay. So you can actually make the items cheaper. So in a container, you earn something from it. I am able to play around my margins and I can pass on these savings to my consumers. So it becomes a win-win. But the pain point of that is obviously there's a ratio. For every plank, you can probably only have like 5 nice big planks. And then you probably get X number of offcuts. In that case, if you order 5 dining tables, you must order 10 stools. And that pain we take because we have enough stores to distribute to. But we felt that by doing that, we are trying to do sustainable business sustainably and relevantly to our consumers. So that is one of the challenges, and that's one way we try to overcome it, to stay relevant to consumers.
Right. So when you and your brother made that decision, then after that, did you have to go through a very difficult process to convince everybody else?
I think so. In fact, I think our parents are more ambitious than us. They want to grow it regionally, and they would love it grow across generations. Right. So I think with the scaling mindset, they bought into it. And that is why we need to always find ways to be relevant. And we're very lucky we have the economies of scale, diminish the expense per product.
See. Okay. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about your digitalisation, because I understand that this is something that you and your team is very focused on.
Right.
So if I were to put on my consumer hat, generally when I think about buying high quality furniture, I think of it as a very, I need to touch and look at the actual product itself before making the purchase decision. But I understand that you have gone on to e-commerce and you have also done augmented reality.
Right.
So just wanted to understand why did you decide to go for this digitalization?
I've learned the hard way to be relevant instead of being cool. So I've done augmented reality 2012, 2011. The Candy Crush generation. Spent a good 6 figures and even tried incentivizing my team to get my customers to download an app where they can have the product come to life in their living room or their bedroom. But no takers. When I drilled further, I realized then the phones they had was not 2 terabytes big. It was a few megabytes. That was when I realized it is cool, but it was not relevant. We started e-commerce only 1.5 or 2 years before COVID hit. And are we glad we did? Sales was dismal. So today, after COVID, I was asked, why would people want to buy furniture online? Then my idea was, if you can buy airline tickets online, you can buy furniture online because airline tickets cost more sometimes.
Oh, okay, from a price.
From a price point. From the tactile point, I said, look, we have showrooms everywhere. Scanteak with enough stores, customers know what they want. It may add to their convenience if they just want an extra shelf. So it was shot down a lot, but eventually we managed to pull it through. And over COVID, it was our main source of revenue for the whole circuit breaker period.
So you started this right before COVID or during COVID you quickly changed?
We did August of 2018. COVID hit 2020, about Jan Feb. You know, a lot of lessons learned, but we're glad we did it. So that was why we went e-commerce. And as for AR, when I saw web AR and how customers were willing to buy furniture online, I realized that that tactile experience, maybe 40% can be replicated through web AR, and they can shorten the decision-making process, which means they can take this, put against a blue wall, a marble wall, a wood flooring, screenshot, share it with their spouse, their partners, their family. If I like it, then let me go down, and it fits in the space. So our AR is 100% true to our product dimensions.
Right, so that's very interesting because you mentioned that it shortens the process, so the decision. Right.
So you don't need to go down 3 times. You can go down and shop all the different brands. If you think Scanteak is shortlisted, then you like it, you can send it to your friends and family. And then if they say yes, okay, you can go down for one last time and make a purchase. Or if you already had very good connections with the salesperson, you can buy online. You don't need to make the time to go all the way down and go through the hassle again.
It sounds like the way you're thinking about retail now, it's no longer, it's not online is online and then store is store. It's like an omni-channel.
Yeah, we need to flow with the customers. If customers are omni-channel, we're omni-channel. If one day customers have, you know, those fun glasses and then everything going on with AI, and then we got to jump onto that space as well. We will need to be anything and everything that makes shopping as frictionless as possible for consumers.
That's very forward thinking.
No, we're trying. In fact, we are now building an AI app, because sometimes we add to cart but we don't buy.
Correct.
Right? We want to see the price, we want to do research. You say, last week I added table A, chair B, and stool C, even though you didn't register your username and password. As long as you add to cart. So that week I'll say, oh yeah, I know these 3 items. You know, let me show you where it is.
Where it is in the store.
Exactly. So now my salesperson no need you to repeat your story. Our AI, obviously, based on what you add in, they will tell my salesperson, they can also check out these other stools that are similar to this if this is not what they like.
I see. So aside from using technology in the actual retail buying process, how are you using technology in other parts of your business?
So we understand that not only our consumers are changing, consumers also equals to our labor force. So now we are also adopting AI to be able to reduce mundane, repetitive, boring jobs. For example, filling in payment vouchers, writing claims, doing data entry, and upskill our workers to be able to analyze numbers. Maybe check out which banks have the best rates, right? Maybe OCBC. And then that would be more value-added work because we know that everybody is looking for the increment. To do that, we want to upskill them to productive jobs and leave the unproductive ones to AI. And lastly, we want AI eventually to be able to recommend to our 300-400 strong employees what are the 5 most productive things or value-added things they can do for the day to take the guessing game out of the equation.
That's very interesting. And I think you have a very interesting name for your bot as well.
Yeah,
It's a very affectionate name for the bot.
Yeah, we call him Aiden. Yeah, because it's AI, so Aiden, yeah. Sorry for any other people who are watching this and call Aiden. I don't mean it that way.
Do you think that the digitalization journey that you have embarked on would help in also your sustainability efforts?
Absolutely. When you increase the productivity of the work, you inevitably get rid of things like filing. For example,
Like the actual paper.
Pen and paper. Like we've tried to go paperless in all our transactions. So I feel that digitalization and automation, in a very small sense of a way, would then make everything more productive, more resourceful. We are using AI to manage our supply and demand forecast. And that, if I order the right things and I don't store things, it will reduce carbon footprint from delivery. The times of redelivery to customers, that would again help carbon. So I do not think we are manufacturing, where we can largely make a huge difference to the carbon footprint. But in our small ways, that one starfish at a time kind of way, we are trying to do our part.
That's very interesting. So it's basically doing a little bit of many, many things, and then it adds up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So once again, thank you very much for taking your time to join us. It's been very interesting to learn about the latest developments at Scanteak and also how you and your brother navigated the challenges as well as the opportunities.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.